What is going on, people of YouTube? My name, in fact, is Kurtyoy, and today we've got another review for you. Now today, it's a bit of a monster week. Look at the scores. Can you see one thing letting us down? Watford 0, Palace 1. The only game to score less than 3 goals. I am rather disappointed, but I did notice last episode I blabbed a lot, so one thing I do want to say, if you want to take part in predicts, then guess the 10 Premier League predictions for this coming weekend, and also the Sheffield Wednesday results, they matter. That's if you want to do it, in fact. But first of all, as suggested by someone in the comments, I can't remember your name, apologies, you said go over the leagues I'm in, or my league and then head-to-head league. So I'm going to go over my league, look at the top people. First of all, top is Pathetico Madrid. He's actually, Callum Sims is actually in my head-to-head league, and his team went pretty well. I'm not going to lie, you look at it and you think, well, I don't know, have a team like that. My hill, admittedly, his defence, admittedly, all of it let him down, but captain being Sanchez was absolutely huge. His total was 69 points, he got 40 other points for his team. So well done to you, sir. And then, if we go on to Kurtyoy's head-to-head league, which moved up to first in, I managed to move up to 7th, despite having 35 points, which I think is 13 points, if I check correctly, below the actual average. No, it's 11 points. My team was awful. I got away with it though. I did transfer Lukaku out and bring Marshall in. However, Lukaku decided to eat West Brom. Just casually get 2 goals and an assist as I transfer him out of my team. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But nevertheless, we will move on. Looking at the results, huge win for Spurs, you know, in the relegation battle against Chelsea, who dropped points against Chelsea. That was another huge shock in this week. Another huge shock actually was Manchester United beating Sunderland. I didn't see that one coming. And also Leicester losing, you know. Rest in peace Leicester's form, now they're going to get relegated. But we've got some player reviewing to do. And I had my phone, no stats on it this time because I got home from work late. So we're just going to work from what we've got. First of all, we're going to do the defenders. Now it should be on the screen right now. The 3 I'm going to talk about, first of all, is I've got a round score, is defender by the name of Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk got 2 bonus points. He also scored a goal in their 3-1 win against Swansea, who looked at sea at times. The Swans were at sea, you might say. And for me, Virgil van Dijk had a fantastic game week, as well as having a shocker at Manchester United. He picked his form back up now. As you see, he's had a roller coaster of a time, 7-0-10. But he got a goal. He got his first goal for Southampton in the 3-1 win. That's why he gets a mention at the top. Surprisingly, only 0.5% of people have chosen him. I think Southampton can pick up the form. I can see that rising up to easily double figures of percentage. Next up, I'm sorry if I keep on looking down, we have a Spurs player. Oh no, who would have thought, playing Man City. We have Toby Alderweireld. I think that's how you say his name. I know he did something on the Spurs YouTube channel to do it, but anyway. He actually, again, scored a goal against City. I think he scored the second. Willy Caballero, like the Swans, he looked at sea. Nowhere to be seen. It was a free header into the net. He was running in the opposite direction. Willy Caballero, if we did have a goalkeeper section, would have made it in there. He had an absolute stinker. My word, how he... I don't know. I just don't know. Joe Hart must be thinking, I've got no competition when I'm fit. No competition. Because that bald egg can't do anything. But Toby Alderweireld actually did okay. Had a good defensive performance against an underperformed City side in that 90 minutes. Who a few players will be mentioning in the bad section. But Alderweireld, notably, gets our spots. Second and third is a surprising one. Well, not when you look at it really, but surprising to me is we've got Scott Dan in there. Now, Scott Dan had a good game week, picked up a clean sheet, and picked up 3 bonus points. Because of the fact they went to Watford, you know, they took a 1-0, and they also defended very well. Watford did attack them at times, but Watford maybe were a bit lacklustre. But either way, Palace's away form is ridiculous under Alan Pardew. Their away form in general is just ridiculous, and he had a fantastic performance, put in, you know, easily for me, best performance he's had in the league so far. I mean, look at that. Besides the goal and assist against Aston Villa, for me, defending wise, got there in the end. Easily best performance of him so far, probably, maybe even in the Palace shirt. But nevertheless, we move on to midfielders, and obviously, you know, it wouldn't be a game week without talking about Alexis Sanchez. Now, he picked up 3 goals, 3 bonus points, you know, 2 for playing, 20 points if some unlucky sod played triple captain and tried to risk it and put the underperforming only 1 assist to his name in the whole season before that game, Alexis Sanchez, in, rest in peace whoever he played with in a head-to-head league, let's just say that. But Sanchez was back to his old self, but I'm not going to be going into too much of the he's back to his old self, blah blah blah, because as we've seen, players can just deteriorate in form immediately and bring it back immediately, like Lukaku this week. However, if he does prove like that, to play like that in each next game of the season, then hopefully he'll do something good. But the fact he's still had people chucking him in, actually had people getting rid of him for the first time this game week, I think this is the right word in saying it's a mad thing. My knowledge and know-how is up there. Next, we've got to have Mata. I think the highest point scorer did choose triple captain on Juan Mata. It was a sensible choice. I did have him in my I think in my preview to put him in your team. He's playing against Sunderland easily, you know, and he's got a goal to his name. He got an assist to his name. Got 3 bonus points, clean sheet, and minutes played. 90 minutes. You know, fantastic week for Mata. Just outshone by the hat-trick hero Alexis Sanchez. Notably, I'm not going to speak out them in this game, but Walcott and Giroud also scored. And for me, the criticism of both of them maybe is a bit harsh. Giroud is a forward, and you know he plays fantastic football. I really do rate him. And Walcott isn't a forward; he's a winger. And for me, if he's going to play up front, he needs someone like Giroud there to work. He can still play there; he can still do okay. But for me, his best position is winger. If he's going to be put up front, you need someone like Giroud to play off. Because if Giroud can hold up the ball, well, lay off Walcott. Fantastic play. But Mata, nonetheless, deserves a special mention because I got him right. I got one right about Juan Mata. He's actually going up in price. He looks to be a key player for United this season, racking up a huge 3 assists and 3 goals so far for underperforming Juan Mata in the last season. You know, look at that. 6 and 7, 9 and 4. He's racing towards beating his records of 11 and 18. He got in a Chelsea shirt and unfairly, I think, chucked out of the team. And lastly, we know, wherever you go, you've always got to take Lamela with you, and he picks up our 3rd spot for the fact he had a fantastic performance against Spurs. Although he picked up a yellow card, he got 3 bonus points, an assist, and a goal. And that sounds immediately like Mata, although he didn't actually get as many as Mata, which is strange. Oh yeah, he didn't get a clean sheet, that's why. And he got the yellow card. But Lamela, nonetheless, had a fantastic performance against Manchester City. Maybe he's found his form, or maybe he had one good game. We should steady ourselves and think, he's had one good game. You look at his form in the other season, he's only picked up 1 assist before that game. So if he can keep on performing, that would be great. But let's move on to the strikers now. We'll get through some honourable mentions. Joe, who I did the podcast with, Gingy X, as you may know him on YouTube, he said to me he predicted an English day of scorers. So he said he predicted, and he told me before the game week started that Kane would score, Rooney would score, Sturridge would score. I believe it was Kane, Rooney, Sturridge, Carroll would score, and Walcott would score. And Carroll got an assist. Now, unfortunately, Chekuyate stole his goal. I'm pretty sure it might have been going in. I know it wasn't going in, by the way. I know it was a good assist for him. But 4 out of the 5 scored. It was a great day for English strikers, as well as the fact that you've got Jamie Vardy up there scoring goals as well. It looks good, because if English strikers are all scoring, we could outscore teams in the World Cup. I know we won't, or in the Euros that's coming up or whatever. I know we won't, but it's nice to think forward. Anyway, firstly on to Lukaku. Like I said, he ate the West Brom defence. Did it in a short amount of time as well. For me, it looked like West Brom were going to go under another Tony Pulis regime match in which they were strong at the defence. But for some reason, Lukaku just turned beast mode on out of nowhere and ate them in about 20 minutes. And some guy won 46k on that. 2-0 down. I've been thinking, it's cash it out, get like the 2k. Well, if that was me, I would have lost out 44k. And that guy, very, very well played. Whether it's skill, whether it's luck, fair play to you, my friend. But Lukaku, nevertheless, he's on 20%. I did transfer him out. Hardest thing to do, because I would have easily beaten the record of just having Lukaku in there and also having him as my captain, who replaced Martial, although I think we're my captain. But anyway, he had a fantastic game, made 2 goals and 1 assist, bringing on to 4 goals for the season and 2 assists for the season. Fantastic from you, Romelu. Next we have 2 players on 13. We'll start off by doing Daniel Sturridge, who had a fantastic return to form. He played the full 90 minutes, grabbing 3 bonus points and 2 goals. Admittedly, it was against a Villa defence that was a bit wobbly, and coming into the game and showed they're a bit wobbly by conceding 3 goals. But nonetheless, it's great to see Daniel Sturridge back playing, back in form, and especially after the really poor performance he showed against Norwich, picking up just 2 points for playing. Admittedly, he was playing his first game since being injured from a long time. But he's come back, hopefully he can be in form, and hopefully England can have probably the #1 goal scoring striker back up front for the Euros, fit and ready to blast away the opposition. And lastly, we've got to talk about, it's very rare you see 2 strikers from one game on different teams, but Gusted makes the list because he grabbed, like Sturridge, 2 points for playing the full 90 minutes, then 3 bonus points and 2 goals scored. He terrorised Liverpool defence. It's the first time he's terrorised defence since the first game of the season, in which he came on and showed Bournemouth how to head the ball, which was into the back of the net. Fantastic play from you, Rudy. But he had a fantastic game against a notably worrying Liverpool side that got away with it in my eyes, and they do need to improve. Maybe Jurgen Klopp's come in. For me, got to give him till at least Christmas. If he hasn't performed since then, he needs to go, because you backed him with money. No point backing him with money 2 games in or so and saying, well, he's not doing the job, we need to sack him, because Klopp's going to come in with a squad that he won't want. So for me, you've got to stick with him. But Rudiger said, well played to you. Although he's going down in form, I don't think he'll be don't be making knee-jerk decisions on him just yet, but he will, unfortunately, be getting a lot more goals in my eyes, because I like the big target man, and so does Tim Sherwood. Now, on to the bad players, and this is the part where it could take a bit longer. We're going to run through them quickly. Of course, the first one is Mr. Monia Pants Off, the only player on minus points this whole game week, Mr. Martin Demichelis. Oh dear. He's conceded 4 goals and got a yellow card after the half-time whistle for complaining about something that has already stood. Admittedly, it was wrong, but complaining after the half-time whistle, getting yourself a needless yellow card, playing the whole game then on the, I can't go in for that because I'll get another yellow card and be sent off, in which he could have actually been sent off. I believe it was him that maybe got away with something because of the close proximity of his other centre-back, but poor performance from him. Poor race from him. There's no point saying, but you just got 0.1% for a reason, Mr. Martin. Next up, looking down at my phone, we have unfortunately another Chelsea player to talk about, and we're going to bash another Chelsea player, and unfortunately it's Mr. Ivanovic, the only Chelsea player in there, demoralising 2-2, which could have been easily a loss. To get a yellow card as well, and to get 0 points. And I'm not Chelsea bashing, before you say anything, I'm just saying he got 0 points against a Newcastle that, when you look at them, if you go on to Newcastle quickly, you look at, let's say, I don't know who that is, but, oh, no, never mind. We look at Newcastle team, look at the goals they've scored. 3 goals in 6 games come up into that. Chelsea defence should be holding their own. They held their own against Arsenal, admittedly against 10 and then 9 men for half the game. But they held their own against Arsenal away from home. You know, you've got to do this, at home, you've got to do the same thing, for me. And that's why he's in there, not Chelsea bashing, but the fact, going to Newcastle, the form they're in, you can't say they played well. Mourinho comes out, slaughters his team, for good reasons. They were poor at the back, and there will be more Chelsea players to come, and I'm not a Chelsea basher, I swear. And lastly, we're just going to have a look at the whole Leicester defence, and shame them all, because it looks like they didn't even play defence, but they did, somewhere in there, our players, and if I had to pick one out, it'd be Richie DeLate. He looked out of place against Arsenal. He looked like he didn't know what he was doing. He was absolutely shocking, and his defence in general conceded 5 goals. He, for me, will be the one on the side, taking the blame for all of it. But nonetheless, I think Leicester met their match. You know, they can score goals, but as you can see in this season, they can also concede goals without an actual clean sheet yet. For a team that was unbeaten, now not unbeaten, that could get worrying. But if they're going to outscore teams, you know, you've got to hope they don't stop scoring. If they stop scoring and they carry on conceding, it's going to be worrying for them. But Delart takes them for a biscuit. But Leicester's defence in general was pretty poor. Moving on down to midfielders, we're going to go to Man City again. Again, I swear this is not going to be a Man City and Chelsea bashing episode, but unfortunately we do have to mention Mr. Fernandinho. Now, I could mention, that's Fernando, sorry, it's on the wrong one. Mr. Hey, hold a minute. Oh, they're both called Fernando. No, Mr. Fernandinho. I thought it was on the wrong one. He was awful. Admittedly, you could put the blame on both Fernandinho and Fernando, the Pokemon Evolution pair playing centre mid. Their job really was to stop the attacking happening, and they conceded 4 goals. So admittedly, you can blame the defence for being poor. The role that Fernandinho and also Fernando will play is sort of to protect the back four, like Matic does for Chelsea and all that sort of stuff. For me, they didn't do that, and unfortunately that's why Fernandinho is in there, because I think Fernando coming in, you know, you let him off. Fernandinho being the player that he is and how quality he is, he's got to be the one to blame for me. Next up, we have a Chelsea player. Hallelujah. Where did that come from? I do not know. I did not see that one coming. And we have to mention a little bit of a poor old Oscar. He was awful. Absolutely awful. Not real any way to describe it. He got subbed off. Rightfully so. He was shocking for me. And watched the highlights. Nothing I can pick out to be the poorest part, apart from the fact that he consistently gave the ball away. And if you're going to do that, you're going to get punished. And they got punished. Like I say, much you can say the defence's fault. That's like in Sunday League when you're always playing the goalkeeper. But if you're going to play no people at the back that can run, and the fastest player on the pitch is going to run past all the fat blokes at the back and then score, you can't blame it on the keeper. You know, I'm not going to say this happens every game. It's just an example that I thought off on top of my head in the random moments. And lastly, we have a surprise mention actually for a West Ham player. We actually have to mention a poor little mention actually. Mr. Mark Noble. Poor result from him. Didn't play the whole match. West Ham's captain. He gave away the ball for either the first or second goal, I can't remember which one. And also had, well, should have marked better. But I think it was, no, he gave away the first one from a poor pass. Should have marked better on the second one. And that culminated in West Ham conceding 2 goals. If he would have done if he would have had a little bit of a better game, you could see that being a 2-0. West Ham missed out. They could have outscored, but you know, say blame the defences, but Mark Noble did have a poor game. Now we're getting around it. Unfortunately, you don't get minus points on a poor game. For me, if you got minus points on a poor game, Mark Noble will be straight up there. Like Mario Yoshida last game, he was just poor in general. And lastly, I have to talk about the strikers. Now, may as well just cut snag straight on to Manchester City and Sergio Aguero. Admittedly, you know, who's playing against Spurs? Spurs are a tough team, but Aguero has quality. Should be scoring goals. And for me, if you look at Spurs' defence, you know, 1-2, 1-0, 0-0, and then obviously conceded 1. Admittedly, they haven't conceded in the last 3 games, but they've shown they were vulnerable at the back at times, and they've shown they can be beaten. They conceded again against City for another De Bruyne goal, who, hats off to him, did play the best, did have the best play on the pitch for Manchester City, shortly behind Yaya Toure just for the assist. As lucky, you know, as you can see that. But for me, Sergio Aguero has to have a mention because it's poor. From a striker that's the most expensive player on Fantasy Premier League, considered the best striker in the Premier League in general, that's poor from him. And yes, just colours that go straight off to Chelsea, not Diego Costa though, unfortunately. We're talking about Loic Remy. Played 60 minutes, didn't do anything. Sums up Loic Remy. For me, this season, he's a good player. He's a very good player. But races at Chelsea had a poor game. He's a quality player, but he had got to admit it, he had a poor game. There's no way you can go around it. And the last striker we're going to mention might surprise you, might not. I did say Swansea were at sea, and for me, it's got to be the man at the top, Timmy Gomez. You know, he was lost throughout most of that match, and then he was found again to be put on the bench. Yeah, because I think he had 7 passes in that whole 45 minutes. Yeah, that is shocking, and he didn't contribute to anything. Another poor game for him. For me, if I didn't have so many injuries in my team, as in Company might not be playing, neither in my Toure, neither my Silva, and Wilson isn't playing, Comis would be going out. However, that's all I've got for you today. Hopefully I haven't waffled on long enough, but I haven't waffled on too long. But remember, nevertheless, if you have liked this video, then leave a like. Anything in the comments down below, and subscribe. Yeah, there we go. If you want to see more content from me and keep up to date with what I'm uploading. But thank you guys for watching nevertheless, and peace.